Hey, do you like dirty women? Oh, me too. And so does God. Did you know that God created women to be twice as dirty as men? Yeah, twice as dirty as men. It's right there in the Bible, in Leviticus. And, of course, this is where this whole video is going, this passage in Leviticus. And before I get started, I just wanted to make a little disclaimer for all these Christians that are going to try to refute what I say. You know, it's going to be pretty tough for them. I'm pretty excited about this video. You can argue, I would say incorrectly argue, that you can throw out the Old Testament because we have the New Testament. Whatever. At one time, you have to admit that these were perfect laws. They made complete and utter sense. Yeah. In my opinion, something perfect does not change. Therefore, the Old Testament should be valid today. That's my opinion. But you have to admit, at one point in time, God put these laws down. They were perfect. Are we clear? Good. Wonderful. Let's get to that passage. I'd like everyone to turn their Bibles to Leviticus chapter 12, verse 1. Okay, this is the King James Version. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a woman have conceived seed, and born a man-child, then she shall be unclean 7 days. According to the days of the separation for her infirmity shall she be unclean. And that last part refers to the uncleanliness of her monthly period. Okay, now skip down to verse 5. Verses 3 and 4 are just about circumcision. But if she bear a maid child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her separation, or period. And she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 36 days, or she will be unclean for 36 days. Okay, how funny is that? It says right there that women are twice as dirty as men, or more specifically, girl babies are twice as dirty as boy babies. I find that hilarious. Now, the first question that comes up is, should we take this symbolically or literally? Personally, I feel like if you take it either way, it's still demeaning towards women, and it doesn't make any sense at all. But, you know, I'll entertain this idea. Let's just make the argument for it. First, I want to ask, does it make any sense to take it literally? This is a very quick calculation you can get done in one step. Okay, ask yourself, is there any difference, bacteria-wise, blood-wise, any-wise, in a male baby coming out of the vagina and a female baby? No, there's no difference. Literally, it makes no fucking sense. Nada, zip, zilch, no sense whatsoever. Now we can ask a second question, and this is where it gets really juicy, and I encourage all the Christians to pay attention, because this is pretty good. Yes, you ask the question, can we look at the context of the Bible, or look at other passages in the Bible to try to help us define what it means to be unclean, and if it's symbolic or if it's literal? Well, funny thing, I picked up my dad's Bible and went to chapter 12, verse 1 of Leviticus, and it has these fun little footnotes. He's actually encouraged me to read these footnotes before as a way of understanding the Bible better, because they actually tell you what it's supposed to be meaning. Well, they do a lot of legwork for me here, and you'll see what I mean in just a second. Okay, so it says here, unclean. The uncleanliness came from the bleeding, not from the birth. Okay, I think that's the same thing, or kind of, but whatever, that doesn't matter. Next part is, it is not clear why the period of uncleanliness after the birth of a baby boy was half the period for that of a girl. It's unclear. We'll get to that later, but anyway. It says here, see Leviticus 15, chapters 19 through 24. So please turn to 15, 19 through 24. When a woman has her regular flow of blood, the impurity of her monthly period will last 7 days, and anyone who touches her will be unclean till evening. Anything she lies on during her period will be unclean, and anything she sits on will be unclean. Whoever touches her bed must wash his clothes and bathe with water. He must wash his clothes and bathe with water, and he will be unclean till evening. Whoever touches anything she sits on must wash his clothes and bathe with water, and he will be unclean till evening. whether it is the bed or anything she was sitting on. When anyone touches it, he will be unclean till evening. If a man lies with her and her monthly flow touches him, he will be unclean for 7 days, and any bed he lies in will be unclean. Oh, wow. That's a lot of uncleanliness. And, people, it is so utterly clear that God is a neat freak, okay? He really hates discharges that come from the body. And I think that there's another verse saying that if a man spills his seed on his sheets, the sheets must be washed. These aren't symbolic actions, okay? These are physical things. This is blood coming from the vagina. It's so blatantly obvious that this is literally talking about cleanliness. This is not something that women did back in Adam and Eve days that suddenly gets manifested through vaginal blood. No, that doesn't make any sense. No. You must take this literally. And here's the real kicker. Even if it were symbolic, even if you twisted this and manipulated this and mangled this to the point to where it didn't even agree with what it originally stated, why would God put that? Why would an all-knowing, all-loving, ever-present God put that in the Bible? Put yourself in your God's shoes, Christians. If you were God, would you put this in your perfect book that you wanted generations to know about and that was inspirational and loving and kind and all that good shit? Would you even bother to write all this stuff about how unclean the woman is? No, I would hope not. It's ridiculous. Do you think anyone goes to church these days and says, okay, everyone, we're going to learn what our perfect book says about vaginal bleeding? No, nobody says that because it's ludicrous. It's ludicrous today just like it was back then. I would like for you to do this exercise, Christians, for just 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Take off your God is real and His name is Jesus glasses. Just take them off, okay? Are they off? Good. Now look at that passage. Look at what I've just read to you and ask yourself, does this make any sense? Was this written by an all-knowing being, or was it more likely written by biased, sexist, Bronze Age men living in tents? Now, I know that exercise probably didn't work on you, but if it did, and you've had that flow of rationality just flooding over you, write to me, because it would really stroke my ego to know that. But seriously, I don't know how better to put it. The entire context of the entire Bible, if you put that in context of the entire Bible, it matches perfectly with biased men. It says all over the Bible that women are less than men. Christ is the head of man as man is the head of the woman. Women can't teach. Women can't talk in church. Women cause the downfall of man. Vaginal blood is not clean. And it's especially not clean if a girl baby is born. Christians, I'm meaning this in all sincerity. Read your Bible. You know? So many atheists have said this before, but it's one of the most true statements an atheist can make. Read your Bible. It is the quickest path to becoming an atheist.